thank you all for joining. And without further ado, we're just going to do a round of introductions. And you're going to say your name, your pronouns, and then also your connection to Rae Studios. And if you taught with us, what have you taught? Or if you currently teach, what do you currently teach? So I'll get started. For our Rae Studios friends who will be watching this video, my name is Trisha Regine Puerte. My pronouns are she, hers, and I am the community liaison. And I have been with Rae Studios as a student for almost a couple years now, and I've just grown with the community as a host. My background is also a BA in psych, and currently pursuing my MSW in social work, really focused on community work. And on my spare time, I have a body positivity YouTube channel. And so I love my work with Rae Studios, and focusing on, creating curriculum and inclusive spaces for all families is a really huge focus of mine. So this is really exciting for me. So thank you so much for having me as your moderator. I'm going to pass it to Claire.
Good afternoon, everyone. So happy to be here. Thank you for hosting us today. And this is, an important topic. There are different chapters of life, and we're just, in different ones of them, and just kind of considering and learning. And so it's really cool to be able to have this opportunity to share our stories and connect and grow and help learn. So again, my name is Claire. I'm calling in from Denver, and I'm a trainer and nutritionist. And I have taught in studio at Rae Studios and have had so much fun leading classes in person and done virtual classes, power burn and sweat, and then leading a Tuesday morning cardio class currently. So I just love the enthusiasm and the energy of the students that come in. And in my spare time, I also train clients, nutrition coaching, fitness, mindset coaching, accountability coaching, all of that good stuff. And also I have a bachelor's in psychology and also a master's of science in psychology. So very much like our moderator here.
Yay, thank you. And if you don't mind sharing, where are you on your parent journey?
Yes, I am 29 weeks pregnant with a little boy. So very exciting. This was a journey of infertility to get to this point, and I'm totally open about that. And if I can help anyone who is, anywhere in that space dealing with infertility, considering treatments, we ultimately conceived via IVF, but we've done all of the different treatments that are available. I can speak to every single one of those. We did a round of all of those. So please know that I'm here to be an absolute compassionate, open book resource. If you or anyone you know is curious about learning more of that and wants a cheerleader in your ring who will absolutely be open about it. So, yep, baby boy on board.
Yay, thank you so much, Claire.
Thanks for having us. And she, her pronouns.
Thank you. I'm going to pass it to Jenny now. Hi, Jenny. How are you?
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. So nice to be here. I so much appreciate Rae Studios. It's just, especially this past year with everything, Jessica has kept us so inspired and motivated, and I'm her auntie, so of course I feel that extra pride. It's really motivated me to come out of my shell and teach some classes. I'm based in Los Angeles. I'm from Ireland, and I have a 6-year-old, River, who's hiding.
Hi, River. Yeah, I know he's an Instagram star. I love the video doing the morning face exercises. That's one of my favorites that we do.
He's a lot of fun. And I always, I'm from a big family. I always wanted to be a mother, but my parenting journey, I was 40 when I had him. So it was one of those things I wasn't sure if it was going to happen. And then River came like a little bolt of lightning. So it's been amazing. Of course, being a mom and any parent, it can be tiring too. So I really recommend to new moms or moms to be or parents to be to, make sure you take time for yourself too. That's really important to do that, because otherwise it can get really exhausting. And as far as fitness, we do a lot of hiking, and you know, I kind of, Anya, my sister who's here, is River. Come and say hi. She's River's auntie, but also his godmother. So she is an immense help. So having support is so important.
I'm
So
called Annie Donut around here.
and we go hiking a lot. So I guess as far as the fitness, you know, finding things that you can enjoy as a family is really fun, and introducing your kids to nature, and, you know, exploring. We travel a lot, and yeah, so I guess I kind of, you know, include him a lot in, you know, the things that I do.
Yay, I'm so glad to hear
Face
that.
yoga. He helps me do my face exercises.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Jenny. I am now going to pass it to Raquel and Sandro, all the way from Chile. How are you?
Hi,
Yay!
you go first.
Okay. My name is Sandro. I'm an education and health teacher. Also, I'm a dancer,
Yes.
professional dancer for almost 14 years in the industry. I also have been teaching reggaeton and hip hop at Rae Studios every Thursday. Um, boom. Since 2017. And yeah, I think
That's
what
all.
else? I don't know. I don't know
What else you need to say? No, I can
Just
say everything else. Okay.
go.
Well, I'm
It's your turn
Raquel.
first.
Yay! I'm Raquel. I'm from Venezuela, but I'm in Chile too. I'm his wife, obviously. And we are 28 weeks pregnant right now of a girl.
So close
Yeah.
to prayer.
Yeah, of a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, very close. Very, very close. And our girl name is Amelia.
Amelia.
Amelia in English, like Amelia Rae.
Oh.
Yeah. And what else? Well, I don't dance professionally anymore. I did it like all my like childhood since I was 3, but I stopped when I started law school. And when I met him, I started doing it again. So yeah, this is like a family that support all the artists and all the art world because we love it.
Yes, all the way from Chile. Rae Studios has
Yeah.
family from all around the world. And if it's anything that's so beautiful about having these virtual classes, is that it's allowed us to do things like this, to have classes like this, and to connect with one another. So thank you both, Raquel and Sandro. Extra love for that.
No, thank you.
Woohoo.
And someone is asking what part of Chile, like Santiago, the capital. We're in Santiago.
All right,
Yep.
and now I'm going to pass it to Sheena, who just had her little one in the camera. But welcome, Sheena.
Hi, Sheena, she, her. Yeah, my little guy is 6.5 months.
So fast. That went by so fast.
Time flies.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. And what did you teach, or what do you currently teach at Rae Studios?
Currently, I teach Booty Blast. I've taught Pilates and bar, and this class, Booty Blast, which is a lower body sculpting class. And I've also danced professionally for 10 years.
Wow. Yes. That's all of us dancers by heart. Anything else you'd like to share with us, Sheena, about your journey so far, 6 months in with the little one?
You can be as prepared as you think you can be, and you're still not ready, but it doesn't matter because you'll just learn every day.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Raquel and Sandro entered the room a little bit earlier, and they're saying like, we're the newest one, so we're going to be taking notes too. So thank you so much for sharing that, Sheena, and all of you for your beautiful introductions. I would be remiss not to give a shout out to our special guest in the room. Jess, thank you for joining us.
Everybody, sorry, I just finished teaching morning classes, so I'm fresh out the shower, but I'm so excited to see everyone's faces and to hear about everyone's journey. And I just feel really happy to have everyone here and their continued like career in their fitness, dance, and wellness. So I just want to say a big like thank you to all of you for continuing to share and work through. I'm really excited to just hear your stories. I think that one of the things that we continue to do as teachers is like we continue to press forward, leading our communities through different classes. But what we don't really spend time with is learning about each other. And I think these are some of the most important things to do, right? It's when we have our chat, Trisha, Kevin, and Andy and I in the mornings about how do we really build on community and create inclusivity and diversity. It's really important that we hear the stories of our teachers and of our students, because people are going through the same journey and they have the tendency to think, well, I can't do it because I'm going through pregnancy, you know, as a father, as a mother, or I just had my child, and there's a lot of self-doubt. And, you know, the biggest reason why we wanted to have this call in is just because we want to reinforce that, like, everyone has a different journey, and it's okay to, you know, take time for yourself or to refine exploration in your love for dance and wellness. And we just, you know, we think that it's always important to hear from our leaders of the community. That's you, our teachers, our providers. I just want to say a big thank you on behalf of the team, and a big thank you for Trisha for putting this together. Trisha is our newest, you know, member to our tiny team. And I don't know if you guys have seen, like, our social media has been super lit. I mean, we have like all of these amazing videos about women, you know, empowerment with women history, had a whole huge post about Black History Month, you know, more information about our AAPI community. And we just really are excited to continue exploring the behind the scenes stories of our leaders and our community members. So thank you guys.
Yes, thank you, Jess. And I love what you said about the re-exploration of your journeys. And I think when Raquel and Sandro came in, because we were talking about how dance and movement, like, that's not going to go away. If a baby comes in, that's going to be a part of their life too. It's just only going to transform. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So with our first question, we are wondering, so off the jump in the beginning of your journey, let's say, especially with the whole added layer of the pandemic, what adjustments did you make for yourself with your little ones on the way, or Jenny with River also, like, at home with you? What adjustments did you make for yourself while teaching and in your own journey with your body, training yourself, taking care of your body when you work out or when you move and things like that? What adjustments did you make on this journey? So starting with Claire.
Yeah, definitely some adjustments. Some of the things that I have done that have helped so much is I've gotten a belly band, which is like the one I got is like called, like, it's like a sports bra for your belly. And so it's like supportive, helps to keep the navel in, just helps with like core support, back strength. So it's like this 360 band. And the one I got is actually, I think it's a women-owned San Francisco based company. So it's kind of cool to support that. So I actually worked out this morning when I taught. So I love that. It helps me feel supported and good. So there's some changes in the gear. I also found some leggings that come up really high, like right to under my chest. So I feel supported and good. And then, you know, I'm actually comfortable like showing like my belly off. Like, I often just like wear like a sports bra now. Like, I don't even like wear a tank top. I'm like, let's go for it.
Yeah.
So it's not that I want to cover the belly with the high leggings, but it just feels good, like support wise, to have that like higher waistband. So that's been really good. And then also in talking to some women who have had their babies, they're saying like you're gonna be appreciating the higher waistbands and the belly band after baby comes for the postpartum times too. So that's been really helpful. I also am, you know, trying to make sure that I am nourished enough. I've got enough fuel in my body. Always have my water, which has always been like, you know, my go-to anyway. But just being mindful of that, and also, you know, I've always tried to be really good about going to the bathroom right before I teach, but very much so use the restroom right before you go, regardless of the activity. That way you'll be able to teach, and then just being open about it. Like, and I think that in sharing that this is where I am, you know, people are so receptive, all different kinds of people that are coming to classes, to the fact that their instructor is expecting, or a parent, or whatever it is. In my case, obviously, I baby's not here yet, so I'm just expecting, but to be able to be honest about that. And then this is something I could just dive into. I don't want to dominate this right now, but I have become certified in how to move when you are pregnant, and the different, yes, that's been the coolest continuing education I've ever done as a trainer and nutritionist, has been my prenatal and postnatal movement specialist certification. And it's just fascinating to learn the reasons why staying active and doing it safely and effectively will help progress. So you have the safest, healthiest pregnancy possible. Of course, you need to have your doctor's guidance to do that, and being mindful of how you feel. Some days you're going to be like, hey, I'm not feeling totally up to it, different parts of your pregnancy, but the rationales for an active pregnancy, how that helps mama become strong. It can help, it significantly helps the baby. It prepares you for life's marathon, also known as labor and delivery. And the ones who already have their babies here, they'll probably agree, like, wow, it's a marathon. If you can prepare your body for it, get strong, that's helpful. And then also in postpartum life, like we were saying, like baby's gonna be moving around. And so practicing with dumbbells, using something with weights, training your heart, getting up and down the ground, different movement patterns that you'll be doing a lot, like hinging to put baby in the crib, hinging to do bath time meals and all this kind of stuff. So again, I could just go on and on because it's something I'm super passionate about empowering parents to really be able to prepare for this chapter mentally, physically, and emotionally. So gear is a big thing, using that bathroom, fueling yourself, water, and then also doing safe, effective movements to really realistically prepare you for the demands of pregnancy, labor and delivery, and then postpartum mamahood life.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Claire, for sharing that right off the
You're welcome.
jump with the products. I didn't even think of athleisure.
Oh yeah.
That would be so appreciated from all of our families to hear about that, of what to
Totally.
get. The fact that it's a small owned San Francisco business, even better. We love that. And congratulations on your certification for prenatal and postnatal. That's amazing. I think a huge thing is that, a lot of these new parents are worried or anxious, which is valid. And so powerful leaders in fitness and your craft and dance and wellness is all of the reassurance that they need to see that it's absolutely safe and happy and healthy to continue to move your body in such a way, because bodies are so strong, like you said. I'm now going to pass it off to Jenny. Jenny, what's it like teaching, especially on your face yoga classes and having a 6-year-old and in a pandemic? What does life look like for you right now?
Well, I've been lucky that I have my partner, Noah. He's been working from home. So and my sister lives near us. So having that little support network through this time when, our communities virtually are bigger, but, one-on-one, it's a smaller group. So I've been very blessed to have that support. I think, we went from, my son starting school to now having to homeschool and get used to all these new things. And, that mom guilt can creep in, that am I doing enough? And just really having some acceptance and not kind of being so hard on yourself. And, especially for new mothers, that is something that I've had to struggle with sometimes, of, that doubt can come in, or feeling, oh, am I doing enough? But really just knowing that as long as you're, present and, they have that love and you're building their self-esteem, then you're doing a great job, and if they feel empowered little humans, maybe with the homeschooling, you might drop the ball sometimes. But really just building that self-esteem in your little ones and giving them that unconditional love, and being patient with yourself when you don't always have it together is really important. And I think every parent should remind themselves of that as long as they're there with love, then you're doing great.
Wow, Jenny, thank you so much for saying that, to remind mothers and fathers that as long as you're doing everything with love, you are doing enough. That is so beautiful that you said that. So thank you so much, Jenny. And now I'm going to pass it to Sheena.
I think the biggest thing that was so tough during the pandemic was support. Like, you read books and it's like, have your community, have your support. And with the pandemic, it was just not there. Like, our parents don't live in town, so we couldn't bubble with them. So every time we wanted, or they wanted to come up, everybody's quarantining and getting tested before we all see each other, and just that was really tough. Just definitely like have a plan for your support system. If you don't have friends, then see if you can get like a postpartum doula. I know that there's lots of those out there. Just really have people that can be there for you, because you're going to be very tired. And if it's just the two of you, or if you're doing it by yourself, then just have to have some time to rest and like recharge yourself. One thing that our friends did for us was a meal train. So it's a website, and they start it, they send it to all your friends. Your friends can sign up to bring you food, or they can like send you like Grubhub food. And it's all just on a calendar, so you can see like, okay, this person's gonna bring me a casserole this day, and then okay, tomorrow we're on our own, so we'll do this, or like, oh, we'll use the takeout that gift card that somebody gave us. So that was a really nice like extra to a registry, that just was like, the best thing, and you really feel cared for by your people.
You've touched on some great points, Sheena. Really great takeaways. And showing the different options that people have, and with the added layer of a pandemic, and with the connections that you have with your families that we cannot see right now. That is such a huge point, and a lot of our people in the community may be in the same boat. Anything else on how you adjusted while teaching? Because you were teaching pretty far along into your pregnancy, yeah?
Yeah, I taught up until 34 weeks. And then I gave birth at 38 and a half weeks. I was just teaching the lower body class towards the end there. And the Pilates class that I was teaching was like older folks. So it was very like gentle. And, I'd had these people for a long time. So I was like, all right, you do your leg lifts. And they knew what to do. So if you have a group like that, it's great, because then you can just like run off different things that you've been working on with them, and they get it. But if you're teaching different people every week, just know what your limitations are. That's the thing I was going to say, is I did not prep my arms as much as I should have. Definitely do weights. Like static hold is going to be really, really important for you, like holding all these kind of things, because you can do reps, but you're not really going to be doing this with a kid.
Yes.
It's going to be static holding, and it's a whole different ball game. So get some arm work in, back, chest. I was like focusing on lower body because that's what I felt like I could do at the time. Yeah. If I were to go back and do it again, which someday I will, I would definitely focus on the arms first, because the first 2 weeks that we had him, my arms were so sore every day. And also from giving birth.
Yeah.
I was sore on my upper body from like the pull bar things, and like pulling on the bed while I was pushing. Really sore. And have yourself a really good water bottle that's easy to drink from, like not something you have to pour in your mouth, something like with a straw. Or I had like one of those click button ones, because you're going to be drinking water laying down a lot.
Wow, really, really great tip, Sheena. I'm now going to pass it to Raquel and Sandro. And if you don't mind, Sandro, I do want to start off with you as a brand new father. What are all of your feelings right now, your emotions? What does teaching and training yourself and still dancing look like while supporting Raquel? Tell me all about it.
Wow, it's like a new thing, like the news was like, wow, like, well, actually we didn't expect that. Yeah. but it's something like I'm so excited right now. So I want to hold like her, like and everything. I I want to keep it for me, but I know I can't. But right now we are doing like a lot of like adjustment about these lockdowns, because it's like here is so strict like about the lockdowns. We can go out like without a like a letter or
Yeah, like
something,
a permit.
a parent or something. So I don't know. We have to like eat healthy, drink a lot of water, like get equipment for our home gym. Like try to do exercise so then do not get stressed about the situation, because this is like very stressing. Like right now, we try to buy everything like diapers. I don't know, like everything. You know
Yeah.
so right now, like with all these things, I'm still like feeling excited for what's coming. Like I try to support her in everything that I can, because she's working too. I'm working too, so I have to like teach classes, do my coaching and
Training.
everything, train people. So I have like take my time. So what do you need, or you need something for me, like how can I help you with everything, like for all this things that are coming. So right now, I don't know. I feel like I I I did like I can't believe what's happening, but I think like it's gonna be like I don't know, like the most like important thing in my life. I think still like as a human, as a person. So yeah, I'm really happy with everything.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna mention something. I don't know if he will kill me about it, but the face that he puts every time that she's moving,
Hmm.
and that the belly move, and that he feels her, and he starts talking to her, like that's amazing. That's priceless. So I love it. And yeah, no, and adding into what he said, we bought a lot of things like because we have been in lockdown since March last year. So obviously we normally we go to the gym, and because right now we can, he bought a lot of like weights and dumbbells and equipment to train here, not only during the pandemic but after I gave birth. Also, like as Claire mentioned, the clothes. Like I tried to buy gear that it was like comfortable for me and for my body changes, like high waisted leggings. I love them. Like I love them so much. And I also bought already. Like I haven't give birth yet, but I bought a lot of like breastfeeding like bra. Um, we all normally try to do meal prepping, but we're already planning calendars with colors for after I give birth, because obviously he will be
Wow.
teaching and doing stuff like all the time, and I will be with the baby too. So we need to share time. And for example, like for the first 6 months, we want her to be in a besides the crib. We want the how do you call it in English? Like the sleeper bed, like the next to
A
the
bassinet.
bed, the
Yeah.
bassinet. Yeah. So he already said like that's in my side, like she's next to me. And I was like, okay, but I need to wake up in the middle of the night to breastfeed. Like it doesn't matter. I will wake up with you. I wake up with you, and she's on my side. So the bassinet is in his side. Like
Just let
we
him have
add.
that. Totally let him
Yeah,
have
yeah,
that,
yeah. Of
because
course, of course.
you will be so sensitive to every single little peep. You're going to want her a little bit further away so you can
Yeah.
actually rest.
No, actually, I'm very glad that that's another thing that we're trying to do. Like we're trying to be as conscious as possible and try to not repeat like certain like patterns that here in Latin America are very common about
Mm.
gender roles, stereotypes, expectations. Like I will take care of everything. Like no, we are like partners in this. So he will do things too. He's not helping me. He's his baby too. So we're trying to do that from now, but obviously that's our plan for the entire life of Amelia. Ah, Sheena mentioned the doula. Like obviously that's super important for us. We already like besides all the doctors and everything, we already have one that will join us during the last part of the pregnancy and during the birth. And also we're like, especially me, I'm trying to read and take as many courses and as many workshops as possible in conscious parenting, in healthy eating habits for babies, in education, like everything. Like I'm trying to learn as much as possible, and he's trying to learn with me, and we're taking classes and courses and stuff, because I think that as Sheena said, yeah, you never are completely prepared but at least you can do your best to be as prepared as possible. Stay active, like walk a lot, drink water, do exercise. And now I'm gonna start with more weights because I was doing exercise, but Sheena had some good tips. So I need to do more weights. And our friends recommend us a lot of besides yoga. They also said they need to strengthen a lot of my pelvic floor. So now I'm taking like in the next weeks classes to do that because that's another big thing. Like for the labor thing, the labor part, you need to have your pelvic floor like super strong, strong. So yeah, I'm doing that right now. So a lot of things. we're preparing, trying to prepare.
Oh my goodness.
Prepare as
Thank you
possible.
so much for sharing all of that. And I love what you both said about challenging the gender roles. That's like another part of preparation. Like it's just showing how much teamwork is already happening. A color coordinated calendar. I definitely want to see what that looks like. But Sandra, that is so sweet how you want the bassinet next to you already. You're talking to the baby. You're already, I know you're ready to dance with your baby already. You're ready to dance with your little one. That is so.
Actually, I forgot to mention something. Like he already bought, we already have the carrier, because I want to have it like in a wrap, and
Yeah.
he's gonna have it in the carrier because he imagined that he would teach with her here. So that's the plan. So he will be with her all the time. Let's see.
Yeah.
Thank you all for sharing those things. I've noticed a common thread here was talking about, resting and taking care of yourself. So the next question I do want to ask is, do you have a favorite ritual to give your own body currently pockets of peace during your day as either an expecting parent or a current parent?
Okay. So I think that like stopping to breathe and as I am expecting right now, like it'll be different once like the little guy is here, but just to like sit for a moment, just like place my hands on my belly and just kind of connect. Like there can be so much happening that might feel overwhelming. Sometimes I'm like, oh, like, am I enough? Am I doing enough? And I think that's going to obviously kind of play into like the mom guilt or the parent guilt that seems to still plague some of our parents that we have mentioned like in the chat, and also just trying to take a moment, breathe, and just feel the gratitude and realize like there's only so much that we can do. And I'm saying this not because I'm good at it, but I'm trying to remind myself right now is that like we can't control everything. And there's a certain amount that you just need to kind of give up and just kind of trust and surrender to. And I think that's what I had to do in order to be able to have a successful IVF process, was to kind of like relax, like give up the control of what I was trying to do in my life and my schedule. And then also, of course, like my body is changing in ways that I've never seen before. But what's so cool is that I'm not having to tell my body, like, okay, today we're building eyelashes, today we're building the liver. Like my body is doing these things automatically. And it's just so cool to do that. So remember what's important. So I think my tangible way of doing that, like I said, is just kind of putting my hands on my belly and realizing, okay, like we got this. That's okay. We can simplify things and have a more peaceful existence. Slow it down, ease in. Doesn't mean like the workouts can't be, challenging and I can't still like, set goals and try to achieve them. But I think there's also the element of trying to be like some more flow and surrender. And I think that should be my like word for the rest of the pregnancy. It's just like flow and surrender. Like it's gonna be okay. Like even if we don't get like all the right baby things, like people have been having babies for all of humankind and didn't have like the fancy gear we have now. And and look where we are today, centuries, generations later. So
I love that flow and surrender. And I feel like that's such a good takeaway, even for people who are not expecting or for not parents. Like I would remind myself that every single day. So thank you so much, Claire.
Well, just listening to Claire kind of brought me back to being pregnant, and just I'm almost like crying. It was looking back, and I really enjoyed being pregnant, and but looking back, you can realize what a magical time that is. Like, you're growing a human life, and it's such a beautiful time. So really taking it in and just enjoying it, because it goes so quickly. And people used to tell me that when I was pregnant, and I was like, oh, it's taking forever, but really it just, in a blink of an eye, I have a 6-year-old. And that first month, of just after birth, just really relax, rest, be horizontal. You don't always have to work out. You can lay and nurse and watch Netflix and chill and just enjoy it, because it goes quick, and before you know it, you're running after them and they're trying to keep up. So yeah, really flow and surrender and realize how magical it is so awesome. And now with the 6-year-old, who's, it's every part of, child raising brings its new challenges. And through the growth, I've noticed with a child, when they're going through a growth spurt, the emotions can become really high for them, because they're still a baby, they want to attach, but they want to let go at the same time. So there's huge emotions attached to that. So it can really test a parent's patience. And for me, having ways to calm my nervous system is really important, so I can stay more grounded and present for my child through his growth, and really realize that this little human is going through so much growth happens for a child. It's so crazy. So ways that I find, for me, coming from the aesthetic point of view that I work with, I love to do guasa, which it's an ancient modality from Chinese medicine. So it's been used for years for healing practices. And when I started doing that practice when River was about 6 months old, and I noticed a big difference in my nervous system. And you can use your hands or a tool, but it's just working on ways to relax the face. But with that, I felt my whole nervous system relaxing. So, of course, I teach classes to help with that as well. But finding ways to really kind of calm the nervous system, I think, are really important.
Thank you so much for that. And I love what you said, like, embrace being horizontal. That's just such a beautiful thing to say. Definitely what I want to quote you on, and a good reminder for all parents at all the different stages of parenthood.
2 things that I would say that became self-care things for me were walking our dog. I know it's not like a self-care thing, but it kept me moving on those days that I was feeling terrible in my first trimester. I was like, well, I have to walk the dog. I have to get out. And usually I would feel better after I got out and moved a little bit, but like getting your endorphins going and getting some vitamin D was always really helpful. And the other thing that I really enjoyed during my pregnancy was like using belly butter and just making sure that like everything was like getting nice and supple, and so that afterwards your skin can go back to where it was. Using it on your breasts and your belly, and just like making that a ritual every single day after I showered, just making sure that I was like all nice and moisturized, and I still do it after.
Thank you, Sheena, for sharing those moments with us about how walking your dog and the something like belly butter. I mean, the word in my question is literally ritual, and I feel like those things that you just explained, incorporating those parts to your day, is such it's almost a spiritual experience, a way to connect with your body and the way that it is changing. So thank you so much for sharing those things.
I like to call like my safe place, like to do things. So when I don't know, I play a lot PlayStation sometimes. So, but this is not my safe place. This is one of things that I like to do.
Yeah.
But my safe like things to do is training my body and create choreographies for my classes. Also, when I teach, this is my real safe place. So when I teach classes, I put me into the bubble, and this is the only thing that I think. So this is my way to, I don't know,
To cope.
yeah. So for me, it's like this. So if I don't know, I teach classes and I feel like great and fresh to start doing like more stuff. That's one of the things that I like. I don't know. It's always helped me, like teaching. My dance things like help me a lot, like to get through everything.
In my case, a lot of meditation, long, like super relaxing late shower. Like I take a long shower before going to bed. Um, I meditate. I use a lot of almond oil and I do massage all over my body with almond oil and butter, as Sheena mentioned. I walk around the neighborhood. I love books. And right now, one thing that I started doing more often during the pandemic is audiobooks, Audible. So one thing that I love and I do every morning before starting to work because my work is very stressing is to walk around the neighborhood listening to a book. So like reading, like not reading, but listening to an audiobook and walking. And together we relax, like we find our peace when he's teaching and I'm working all day. And then in the night, we do Netflix and chill, or we have like a specific series or movie and we cook dinner. Like that's our thing together to relax after a long day. And individually, we have like, yeah, exercise and baking. He used baking to be more relaxed.
What are you baking, Sandro?
Everything.
Right now, I did
Brownie.
brownie.
Yeah, a healthy brownie.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's very, very good baking. Very, very good. And that's another thing. We're trying to do like healthy baking. So no sugar, but erythritol or allulose or whatever. So he loves baking, exercising and dancing. And for me, it's more meditation because I'm a very stressful person. And I also like work all day until 7 or 8, and I'm in the computer all day. So shower, meditation, books, walking around in the morning, that's good for me.
Oh, I love that. I love how they're both so different. And I love how
Yeah.
you separately and together. That is so important. I
Yeah.
want to be really conscious of time, but you did bring up food, which is a question that I'm dying to know. So instead of going in order, let's just shout them out. What are some foods that maybe new favorite foods you have now, foods that you are must-haves in your busy day, foods that are really, really helping you, foods that energize you, foods that comfort you. What is everybody eating? Let's shout them out.
For new mamas that want to help their breast milk come in if they're choosing to breastfeed, oats are really good. So oatmeal cookies, oatmeal in the morning, is really good to help with oat straw tea as well. My sister just told me, she just turned me on to that recently, and that's great for women's health in general, but especially for new mothers, because it also helps with the nervous system too.
Protein is always really good. Make sure like you're feeling like full enough and satisfied, and also just in general. And I think that the mamas here can speak to it, and then I think maybe those of us who are pregnant will maybe experience this as we go along. But I think as baby gets bigger, we'll continue to be hungry, but we will need to eat smaller, more frequent meals. So realizing, like, sometimes I'll be like, oh, I'm so hungry, and I see this thing and I'm like, whoa, I feel like I could eat, like I ate less of that than I expected to. I was so hungry, but I filled up. And I realized that then going back later to finish it. So just like the smaller meals rather than the larger ones are important, as there's less real estate in our bellies because baby is bigger and taking up more of that space. So just kind of realizing that may mean that you need to time your day differently, and have those snacks on hand if you are on the go, just kind of being prepared in that way that your hunger levels are going to be changing, and your the space in your stomach is going to be changing too. So just preparing for that.
You need to be healthy because everything that you're eating, your baby's eating it too. So for us, it's very important to try to eat as healthy as possible. Yeah, sometimes we have cravings, but try to eat as healthy as possible and a lot of protein.
A friend of mine made me these postnatal lactation cookies, which I think they do have sugar, but like I lived for these cookies. They were so good postnatal. I just love them so much. So if you can like make the dough ahead of time and freeze it, and you can bake them for yourself afterwards. That's what she did for me. She just she scooped them with a cookie or with an ice cream scooper and froze the dough. And then I just popped them in the oven 8 at a time or whatever. She made like a big gallon bag of them. It was so cute.
Wow, what a great friend. That's amazing. And I didn't even know they had cookies like that.
Yeah, brewer's yeast and the oats were like the special ingredients that were for lactation. I also had tea. It probably had the oat straw in it. It was like a special blend that I got from Natural Resources, which is a great Bay Area store. I ordered it from them, and they have a bunch of classes too, which so I was gonna plug them because I just loved all the classes that I took through them. I'll send that link later too. But,
thank you. Yes,
I
thank
took
you.
all of the classes through Kaiser and felt like meh about them. But then I took classes through Natural Resources and just really felt way more connected to like the people that were in the classes and just like the learning experience that we got. Just a little bit more of a holistic viewpoint of classes.
It's so good to hear about all these different classes, these different products. I know we're at time, but I would love to see if anybody would like to volunteer. Claire, we would love to see an example of adjusted movements or movements that are really helpful for you. What does that look like?
Absolutely, totally. So, and again, I could talk about this ad nauseum. Like, I'm so passionate about all of this. So, two things I'm going to share. And first is 360 breathing, which may be familiar to some of you. Maybe it's new. I've got my leggings pulled up. But basically, you want to put the hands right below the ribs. You all can join, even if you're not pregnant. This is absolutely something that could be done. So you're going to place your hands right below your ribs. And as you breathe in, we want to think about there being expansion to the front, to the sides, and the back. So these are some elements you might be familiar with in like Pilates or in yoga. But yeah, I kind of like to do it when I'm standing. For some reason, I feel that, I mean, do whatever's comfortable for you, but I feel like I get a little bit more activation. So another thing to note is when you're breathing, don't feel that you have to time it with me. Everyone has different lung capacities and every body is literally different. So we're going to breathe in through the nose. And as you exhale, naturally the navel will draw into the spine. And then in the second part of the exhale, you want to think about pulling up through the pelvic floor. And if you're like, what does that feel like? Men and women, everyone can do it, anyone in between. It basically is like the feeling of like stopping urination. So we probably are familiar with that. So let's go ahead and we're going to do 2 of these together. And again, take your time. Don't feel that you have to be doing the same cadence as I am. All right, so here we go. Good, we'll do one more. Awesome. So hopefully you feel those muscles really working, especially, if you are not pregnant, you can feel more of your rectus abdominis, your 6-pack muscles. If you're pregnant, like Raquel and I are, our 6-pack muscles are often separating. So it's crazy in that, but we can still activate those obliques. As we exhale, we can totally get those muscles working. Another huge tip of mine is to do asymmetrically loaded movements. So I just have my phone right here. This is going to be my stand-in weight. And instead of doing movements we would typically be using, both hands for overhead presses, for bicep curls, whatever it is, if you do one side and just one arm, that is more challenging for that core because your core has to stabilize to keep your body upright. So that's a way to safely do core movements when you are pregnant that don't require you to be on the ground or do planks. After you are in probably about halfway through your second trimester, it's usually suggested that you regress your planks from a traditional plank position as we would do to something that is at an angle against, the wall, the table, the chair, whatever is a stable surface. But doing this asymmetrical movements, like I'm doing asymmetrically loaded lunges, squats, rows, all different kind of movements like that. It's incredible how that is so appropriate for the prenatal crew, also for the non-prenatal crew. I have people who have been working with me for years, and as I've been incorporating the asymmetrically loaded stuff, like, oh my gosh, this is so much harder. normally could do, maybe higher weight of both arms, but if I'm just doing one, it's incredible how that's more challenging. So that has enabled me to really get connected with my body, and I'm not putting unnecessary pressure and stress on my linea alba, which can lead to diastasis recti, which is something that we definitely don't want. All women will experience um, some bit of DR, as we can call it, in their third trimester. It's impossible to fully prevent, but from having a more extreme case, that could result in need for physical therapy or surgery. And then the last point, because I could go on and on about this forever, I'm so passionate about it, is to really think about your pelvic positioning. So as belly gets bigger, as chest gets bigger, I've never had anything like this in my life. I'm like, what? I have to wear a bra now? Like, okay. I know, I think there's someone who mentioned that, like, yeah, the whole bra life thing is like kind of wild, but we can easily kind of get into this anterior pelvic tilt where our pelvis is tilted forward, booty is popping, belly is bigger. And then eventually we'll be holding baby. So there can be a lot of like forward motion, but we want to think about it to try to mitigate some of that low back pain. It's just that little bit of that pelvic tilt. And this is also so important for the non-prenatal crew. Whenever you are sitting, standing, just thinking about trying to have that open chest, ears over the shoulders, chest open. And this also helps you to engage your core, regardless if you are pregnant or not, your pelvic floor. And then it means that you don't put that unnecessary stress on your low back. So you can't see my legs right now, but I have a nice little bend in my knees. And I find that I can kind of sink into this position when I am driving. I'm like, no, Claire, just tuck it a little bit. I remember in dance, they would say, okay, imagine your stomach is a clock. Your belly, your navel is 12, or sorry, is the center of the clock. You have 12 and 6. Think about bringing 12 and 6 together, so you have more of that kind of more connected core. And that's been something I've been incorporating, and I could talk all of your ears off, but I've been using all of this knowledge in my own training. And as a result, I think I'm feeling pretty good for being, third trimester. So anyway, I'll let that be what I share for now, but I'm so passionate about empowering the expecting parents, and some of these movement patterns that can help so much.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Claire. That's incredible.
Welcome.
So helpful. I can't wait to feature that. I would love one more person or pair to show one more move to us, either that you love doing, either a modified move that you highly recommend. Please, someone show, or like Jenny said, activating your nervous system, how to help yourself. Any one more move for the group before we close out.
The thing to remember when you're holding baby a lot, you're going to start to notice your shoulders maybe more rounded, but with that tension, it's going to start to affect your neck. If your neck is holding too much tension, it's going to block the circulation and flow to your face. So you're going to start to maybe see puffiness, rosacea. You might start to notice some breakouts in the jawline, and this can be related to tension in the neck. So important to maybe do some, stretches, opening up your chest area, allowing for the heart chakra to open too, which is helping the nervous system. Beautiful. And then we have our major muscle for the neck here, the SCM, that is responsible for all of our neck movements. So it originates here at the clavicle, coming up to behind the ear. So you can just massage into that muscle to help relieve any tension. It might feel a little tender if it is tight, so just gently massage it, because we have a lot of blood vessels around there. But doing this daily is going to help to relieve tension in the neck, which is going to bring more blood flow to your face. So working that muscle. And then working in our lymphatic system, which is really important for our whole body immunity and skin health. We have about two-thirds of our lymph nodes located in the jawline and around the ears. So to work the lymph nodes, you can just take your thumbs, glide underneath the jawline, come up to the front of the ears, behind the ears, and back down. Doing this maybe 3 to 6 times. And during pregnancy, you might find puffiness in your face. So this is also going to help with that drainage to depuff the face. And then you can get your Dr. Spock hands, placing 2 fingers on front of the ears, 2 fingers behind. And we're just going to do very light half circles, massaging down. So bringing it back and coming down, and very gentle. And this again really helps to calm the nervous system, but you're also helping to encourage lymphatic drainage. And then working down the neck, just bringing your hands, massaging down the sides of the neck in a very gentle, light touch. Our lymph nodes are very close to the surface of the skin, so light touch is better. And then make your way down here, just above the clavicle, and do some light pumping. And this really helps to slow down your breathing. And again, it brings you into the parasympathetic nervous system, so it helps to calm your body. And then you can just finish with some light circles here at the front of the chest. And that just always makes me feel super relaxed. But as well as relaxing, it's helping with lymphatic drainage. So it's going to help keep your skin looking vibrant and healthy.
Thank you, Jenny. Wow. And I love how those movements, you can do it standing, sitting while you're at your desk. That's so helpful for new parents everywhere. And it's so important, you know, just to feel radiant too. You all have shared so much today. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a
Stay
great
well. See you next
weekend.
time.
Bye, Claire.
Have a good
Bye,
weekend.
Bye.